Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Mommy Guide Inc. For those who are new to the channel, I am Mommy Lala, and welcome to Stash-tember 2025. Yes, as you can see, yes, those hashtags are what we have been using since we started Stash-tember. And Stash-tember, the inspiration and the spirit behind it is that we want to use up our stash. In as much as another hobby that most crafters have is shopping or buying new and awesome supplies, it would even be better if we could actually use them as much as we can. And thus the inspiration behind this month's series. So after going through a lot of my stuff during the craft everyday in August, I realized that I really have a lot of things that I have not used just yet. And so I decided to actually create this series. So every day for the whole month of September, we are using prompts. Okay, ooh, you got a sneak peek of what my Discord looks like. All right, so the prompt for today, it's day 18, is tone on tone. All right. So it's basically when you say tone on tone, it is a color palette where you are using the colors within a specific family, right? So the look is kind of subtle, okay? So, but I like it. And if you are a beginner paper crafter, card maker, I feel that this is the best way for you to start with. Remember, like let's say, if you are not yet familiar with the color wheel and how you combine colors, right? So going through, the tone on tone or the same color family actually really helps, right? So again, thank you so much. And those who are here early, of course, we have our dear friend Vicky very early in the chat saying good morning to us. Good morning, Vicky. And I hope that today is a good day. And as the days pass, that you are getting stronger. And hopefully in a few more weeks or days, you'd be back on your feet and you'd be like crafting just like before, right? But don't you worry, guys, because Vicky, before she went into surgery, has prepared a lot of videos on her channel, so you won't miss any of her videos. So please do check out our dear friend. Vicky is VJ Designs. Yes. And of course, we have Linda. Kamusta? Taking the dogs out, but I'll keep this running. Salamat po. Salamat ng marami, Linda. And I really appreciate that Linda, okay, is really trying to know, words, bits and pieces of where my, our language. I am Filipina. I'm based in the Philippines, and kamusta means how are you, right? And then when you say salamat, it means thank you. All right. So at least I hope you've learned two words. You say kamusta when you meet somebody. Kamusta ka? Kamusta Linda? Kamusta Vicky? Right? And then you say thank you, salamat. And then we always use honorifics, right? So whether someone who is older, someone who has more in terms of stature in society or at work, we say po, P-O, okay? So there you go. And we have Shirley Abarintos. Hello, Shirley. Long time no here and no see, sis. Thank you so much for dropping by. All right, there you go. And of course, our dear friend, okay, Caroline, I'm sure, okay, still in bed. And that is good. And I hope that today is a better day, Caroline. Love you, my dear friend and sister in the crafting community. All right. And as I mentioned yesterday, I will be showing you a little bit of the behind the scenes of my Discord. Okay, just hold on a minute. I just want to drink a little bit of water. All right. Okay. So what is Discord, my friends? So probably you've heard of Discord and say, oh, they're for kids. They're for gamers and stuff like that. You're absolutely true. That's how it started. Okay, I think it was originally Twitch, I think. Not sure, but somehow Twitch. And that is where you can go live for as long as you want. But one thing that I liked about Discord that made me realize that Discord is actually a better way to build our community than having to go through, like groups on Facebook and other platforms, because I like things very organized, right? So on social media or on other groups, it's there are folders, right? For, let's say, media, photos, videos, like that. But the thing I like about this one is that it has what you call channels. So within your own server, it's like within your own building, right? So you have different rooms. And in each of those channels, so to speak, you can put different things. Okay, what do I mean? All right. So let me put this down first. All right. So this is what my Discord looks like. Okay. So onto the side. Okay. So you would see that this is the Discord for Mommy Guide Inc. Okay. And when you enter, I will give you the link. Actually, it's already on my YouTube post, but it is only available and accessible, to those who are members of my channel. So when you enter, you would see the different channels. You would see here, like, there is like the general. Okay, so you also see different names of different channels, but this is the one that you should be interested in. Okay, and that would be the one that says Stash-tember. Okay, because this is where, if ever you join us, you're gonna click on it and then you are going to upload. Okay, so if you can see here, there is nothing just yet because I just created it. And what you can see from there is, let me see. Okay, let me see. I'll just need to, because I'm doing vertical, so it's kind of harder to do it. Okay, so you would see that I said, okay, welcome friends to our Stash-tember channel. So please post all of your projects inspired by our daily prompts here, and I will showcase them daily. So how do you do that? Okay, so there is a plus at the bottom. Okay, so let us pull this down a little bit more. Oops. Okay, so where is my Discord? Okay, Discord. Okay, so not that one. Sorry, friends. I lost my Discord. All right, there you go. Okay, so if I would go through this one. All right, so you would see that there's a plus button over there. Okay, so the plus button, okay, if you click on that, okay, then you can, and then you can put your comment. Okay, this is my Stash-tember day, whatever. And then you will just upload wherever your photo is, and then it will get posted. The nice thing about this is, okay, so normally during the pandemic, I had a channel called Team Bahay. And Team Bahay is where you, okay, our channel members and friends would actually upload your posts. And normally I do have a deadline, let's say for a time, okay? So this is by Anna, okay, Cat and Craft. So she said, sharing my 2 master boards turned into a mini zine, okay, 1 ATC and a couple of ATC bases. So this is where she uploaded it. And then during the show, I would go through it and I would showcase her work, right? So this is where we showcase everybody's work. And I find that it's very organized because it has dates, it has names, everything that you need to showcase the person's work, okay, our friend's work. Okay, so this is from Anna of Cats and Crafts. So you've seen her in the chat, right? So that is what my Discord would look like. It's very organized. You know where to put things and you know where to find things, right? Before, when I have friends bring in or share their work, you need to email your work And then before an hour before I end, I would open up all the emails, and sometimes the submissions there aren't no labels on the images, so I have to label it, say Vicky 1, or sometimes you upload several projects, because the more projects you submit, the more chances you get of winning. Okay, that was during the pandemic. And then after that, I will put up the wheel of names, and then I will raffle out who's the winner for the day. And that would take us more than an hour and a half just to do that. But with Discord, all I need to do is, since you've already uploaded, all I needed to do was to go to it and just click on, okay, whatever it is, okay, whoever it is who submitted. Like, for example, this was from Wims. Okay, so I will just check, okay, and then click on that, and then we can showcase Wims, right? So it's fast and easy. That's why I really like using Discord for community. It's just that, you know me, I somehow logged myself out and I couldn't remember any of my username password. So it took a while for us to, through the help of Austin, my dear friend who actually set up my Discord channel for me, okay, to find out how I can finally get back in and get a hold of my Discord. So if you want to be part of that, okay, please, you do need to become a member, a channel member of my channel. Gives you access to our Discord server, where sharing and caring and supporting each other is much easier. Yes, okay. Enjoying my morning coffee. Speaking of coffee, Caroline, we are actually going to be working with a coffee themed stamp. Okay, and we have Zell early. Hello, Zell. No, we just started, Zell. You're perfectly on time. This is Zell, my dear friends. Sprinkle with cards. She has a new avatar. It didn't used to look like that, but that is so perfect because Sprinkle with cards, she is so good at gel printed arts, mono printing, and a lot of mixed media techniques. So if you are interested in that, head on to our dear friend Sprinkle with Cards at Zell's channel. She is the BFF in the crafty community of Whims. Yes, whimsical thoughts. Hi, Barbara. Good morning. I cannot get used to Discord. Keep missing all the eCam messages. I used to have the same problem, Caroline, but when you get used to it, you'd realize it is just like, how did I get to live without, Discord? Again, I'm not a gamer. I just really use it for my business and for, bringing in people's things. Okay, Sammy. Okay, you need to delete that, baby. Okay, Sam. Okay. Hold on, I need to override Sam. Okay, because I've turned it to members only, anak. Okay, so so I already posted it, sweet pie. Okay, hold on. Okay, and let me go to the live. Okay. Skip and stop. Okay, we do need to... Okay, where is Sammy? Yes, so to get to the server... Okay, thank you, Sam. All right, so you need to go to my YouTube post. And if you are part or a member of the channel, then you can see the post because it has been turned into member only. All right, thank you, Sam. All right. So what are we going to be working on, my friends? Okay. Remember yesterday we worked on 3 different stamp sets, right? And we created the cards for them. Okay. But this was one of, the stamps that we said, okay, we will not use it today because it didn't win, but we'll use it tomorrow. And tomorrow has come, and this is it. Okay, so again, there's a big story behind this one. This is, if not the first, one of the first of Lynn's collaboration products, okay, in the industry. Lynn is LV handcrafted, okay. This is a stamp set for your pour yourself a latte, okay, in cooperation or collaboration with Cat Scrappiness. And the reason why it is this kind of theme is because really Lynn loves coffee. For those who don't know, she actually owned a cafe before with her brother. Okay, so she actually knows how to do all of this, latte art. So this is really like real life inspired, right? And then when I met Lynn, so this has been out for a while, so I couldn't find it anymore. You know how it is, right? In as much as the manufacturers would want to keep a lot of inventory of all the things, they cannot, right? Because they come up with new products every so often. And so it was out of stock. And so when I was alive, Shanna of Shanna Makes It heard it and said, you know what, messaged me and said, Lala, I actually have an extra. I don't know why I have an extra, but I do have. And she sent it to me as part of one of several gifts that she sent over for Christmas. And and since that was Christmas, somehow this got like, I don't know what happened. I was so excited but never really got to use it. So finally, we are using it for today. So there is no option. I am definitely going to use this for today. We're just going to make several cards out of this one. Okay, using the prompt tone on tone. Okay, Sam, I still see the link. Okay. Let me see. With you, I can still see it. Christmas sugar creamer. Ooh. Yes, right? So Lynn is super talented. I don't know if you are part of her, membership on her channel, you'd know that she also does, cold process soap making. Just like me, I also make my own soaps. I actually have orders, by the way. Yeah, I remember. I need to buy some materials because somebody ordered several shampoo bars. Okay, I do have one of my best sellers is my green tea shampoo bar. So for those who have oily hair, right? So they're organic. I use a various mix of essential oils and non-paraben based. Yes, so there's a bit of a learning curve, but this card is fun. So if you have somebody who's a little bit young in the family, definitely they can help you out. And Caroline, I'm sure Matthew is so versed with this one. Yes, Caroline, keep on trying. We don't need to know all the things, just make it work for us, right? So like Caroline, she has, started a community that is very, very supportive as well. Lynn's channel. Yes, so for those who don't know, I keep talking about Lynn. Who is Lynn? All right, here's the link to Lynn's channel. I love coffee too. Yes, my daughter, yes, loves coffee. If you like favored, okay, this one, maybe we should look for this. Yes, hello from Barbara. All right. And then, since we're going to be doing tone on tone, right? So, either coloring or stamping, all right? So, this is the stamp set that we're going to be using. And I just, pulled out some of the things that I have, like Altenew. The nice thing about what Altenew has done is that when they released these cubes, they released it in like sets of 4. So that is somehow within the family. Like for example, okay, this one. Okay, so if you would see, you have, this is the lightest, then becomes darker, and then the darkest. Right? So it is so easy. So like the green will be light, dark, darker. Okay, so for me, I like using this kinds of sets because again, it makes my life easy. Right? As you know, unlike T of Not Afraid of Color, I am afraid of color because I can often make or turn them into mud. But some artist friends of mine said, so what if it turns into mud, Lala? That's fine. Said, oh, okay. I just have to, tweak my mindset that it's okay. Right? So, and then you also have something similar. okay, that Gina K did, okay, in terms of her, stamp sets as well. Okay, and of course, Lawn Fawn as well. So just need to choose, okay, the colors that somehow would be, okay for coffee, right? So we can't probably use the greens, right? So I have to look for, yes, maybe this one. So we will use the Gina K Designs once. Okay, so let's use this. Okay. Okay, let's use this for. Okay, so let's use that. Okay, and then let's remove those that I just wanted to show you just because. Okay, and then probably this one for maybe like black coffee theme, right? So what am I doing? Why am I removing it? Okay, I could just pull it out and put it back in later. Okay, so that, and what else? So I think those. Okay, and then let's go and get the black licorice. I don't think I have used this one just yet. Okay, from Altenue. Okay, so this 3. Okay, and then if we have time, remember I was supposed to do 3 cards yesterday, but then it was getting pretty late, and our dear friend Debbie J was actually gonna go live at midnight, and so I decided to just not do it, and so we weren't able to use the third type of alcohol ink marker that I had, which is chameleon. So if we finish early, because this is, I think, pretty easy, then we will work with that third card. Okay, so let's go and start. Okay, and of course I showcased this one because again, this is another product. Okay, it is part of September release of Not Too Shabby. Okay, and it's coffee theme. So I said, okay, perfect. We might be able to use that for later. Okay, so let me just move this so I can pull this one a little bit there, so that, okay, you can see it. All right, there you go. Okay, it does look dirty, right? But those are stains, my friend. It's actually clean. Okay, so let's just get the card bases that we're gonna be using for stamping. Okay, and then, okay, so probably one of the stamps we will color in, but most of it we probably would be just using the stamps, okay, as is where it is. So I already feel that it's very what do you call that, smooth. So I feel a little bit of oil, kinda. So again, this has never been used, so we call this priming our stamp. Okay, just making use that whatever, this is photopolymer, so whatever like a plasticky material still remains, okay, from its manufacturing is gonna be gone, and then I will just very fine, what do you call this, sandpaper, to make sure that the ink really sticks to it big time. All right. Okay, so now we want to make several of these cups, right? Because, okay, so we want to make like different, okay, latte art, okay, onto that cup. Okay, so we could easily like stamp it directly onto that later, but I do want to like layer it. Okay, so I'll fuzzy cut and layer. That's why instead of directly stamping onto that I would stamp it on another and then we will fussy cut it later. Okay. So that's it. Okay. And then we will use, okay, let's try to use the jet black Altenew. Okay. The dye ink. Since we are going to be, I don't think I'm going to be using alcohol markers to color this in because I will be stamping them. Okay, so do you see that I have like, um, some ink inside? Okay, so I normally will want to clean that ASAP so that I won't accidentally like smear it. Okay. So why did I ink this black? Anyway, it's the first try. Okay, and then we will just ink it again later. Do you see how it like does that? So normally new stamps might do that. Okay, so it means I really have to, where up to now I cannot find, I don't know where I placed it. Okay, it is lost, but it would make it so much easier for me if I could find my, cannot find it. Okay, look at how bad that one is. Okay, you see? Okay, so we'll just need to go back, okay, to these stamps, okay, and make sure that we remove that kind of a coating so that it would make, okay, it would make the absorption of the absorption of the ink better. Okay. Go. And Yvette is in the house. All right. So if you are already my friends, then when you go to the post, my YouTube channel post, right? So you see, you have, let me see. So sometimes you can see like posts, video, shorts, right? The post is somewhere there on the right side. And then only those who are members of the channel would be able to see the link to my Discord. All right. Okay, and then in doing so, you can now share posts, inspirations, and talk to the community, right? And pretty soon, I also heard, my friends, that don't quote me on this, but I heard it from the grapevine that the Facebook groups might be changing, doing a major change. So you do need to maybe try out your YouTube post membership or Discord, or another one is, what's the other one? Patreon, right? So there are several of us who actually has like a Patreon, right? So do check it out as well if you are planning on creating your own community, right? So, and if you want to check out how to do Discord, I do have several videos. And there is even a live stream where I had Austin Sutton as a guest, the one who, did my Discord for me, set up my Discord for me. And he gave like a step-by-step walkthrough for creatives of how you can, do it. Okay. So this is really, really bad. Okay. So we will have to scrap that. Okay. And then let's try another. Okay. Let us not give up. And just clean up our stamps once again. Okay, they're really very, very smooth. Okay. All right. So let's try out another ink. Okay, so this is from Lawn Fun, and then later we will try using the Versa mark. What color is this? Black licorice. It somehow has a tinge of like green. Okay. I don't think I've used this ink ever. So it is nice to check it out. Okay, so if you can see, I clean anything immediately. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's nice. It has this, not very, very black. I guess this is what licorice looks like, or the color of which. Do you like licorice? The first time I tasted it, like in jelly beans, right? On jelly beans, I didn't like it. It has that very somehow pungent taste for me, right? But eventually I learned to like it. So I guess it's an acquired taste, so to speak. Anyway, for me, right? So I don't know for others, but for me, that is, the relationship that I have with licorice. Right. So there you go. Okay. Okay. So this. Okay. Right. So let's have. Okay. So I will try to use different, inks for this and see which one, speaks to me or I like better. So tone on tone. All right. So in a way, it kind of looks like, that you're doing like a monochromatic. So some people don't like it because it looks boring and stuff, right? But I feel that, eventually when you put all the other elements of your thing together, then you'd see the beauty of like everything seems to somehow blend and coordinate. And if you like that kind of feel, then this kind of technique is going to be great for you and that you would love it. All right. So let's do a different take. All right. So let's color in let's do a fine on our cup and do different kinds of color onto our latte art. Okay, so let's do, for example, this one. All right, so probably this one has like creamer. So I see that inking it is getting a little bit better, less like blotches appearing on the stamp than it was before. Okay, so I do hope I remember which color goes with what. All right, so all right. Okay. So we'll do it again. Gosh, I hope I'm doing it the right way. That I'm putting in the right color. Gosh, I think I made it the wrong way. I just think. Okay, hopefully it is correct. Hopefully. And of course, our cup. Okay. So if you see, that's a thing. Sometimes you may get like ink in the middle of that stamp. Don't worry. Kind of clean it. Okay. And then, why do I put like a tissue in between? Or sometimes I use if I can find it, my whiteboard marker. Is because if it's just this, the friction, it sometimes hurts my hand. Okay. So I'm not sure if it's the paper. What paper am I using? It's kind of, like it's bleeding through. Okay. Okay, I don't think we need to go over the cup again, just the latte art. All right, there you go. That seems better. Okay, so let's get more paper onto this. Yeah. Oh, is this smaller? What is wrong with this paper? It seems smaller. Okay. There you go. Okay, so let's just clean this and come up with another set of colors. I think this is now I'll just do all the same color for this one, and let's just choose which one I'm gonna eventually use on my card for later. Okay, I think I need to go back to the chat. I see more people coming in. All right. And Martine is here, our dear friend. Okay, Caroline said, be right back. And she is back. That was fast. Oh, that's awesome, Caroline. And yes, hello, Yvette. Okay, to her Discord. There you go. Okay, and Jaden, hello, Shanna. Yes, Shanna, and I've been saying, telling everybody about the history of this awesome stamps. Yes, okay. So Shanna probably must have felt it that we have been talking about her since yesterday, because indeed I would never have gotten a hold of these beautiful stamps if not for her sending it over to me. And I'm so happy that she had multiples. I think Shanna is still on vacation, or is it over? Are you back, Shanna? But no matter what, right? So whether Shanna is on vacation or not, okay, the contents on her channel continues, my friend. Right? So if you want to check out, some of the awesome new releases of different companies where Shanna is a part of, okay, head on to her channel and check them out, my friends. Okay. So I don't really even know what I'm going to do with this. Okay, but we will just figure it out as we go along the way. I think this was released, Shanna, about more than a year ago, right? Okay, so there you go. Again, anyway, it's coffee, so it doesn't really need. You know how coffee is? It doesn't really look very perfect, right? Okay, so there you go. We have 4 cups already. Okay, so maybe we'll do more, and this time we'll do the other latte art stamps, because there's a 5. I think we did 3. So let's check out the other 2 latte art. Okay, on this one. Okay, and then this one is basically, to um decorate the this so we will use this 3 later. All right. So there you go. So again, I have to say thank you to Shanna. Okay, because if not for her, I would not even have this stamp set to work with for today. So not only this, she also gave me a Pooh Bear stamp because she knows that I love Pooh Bear so much. And it was the classic Pooh Bear, right? So, and it's such, so perfect. That one I've used several times. Okay, so that's why with this one, I am trying to really use it. Okay, so this one I didn't even prime it. So let's see. Okay, so you see, when a stamp is not primed, somehow the ink kind of floats and forms like bubbles, like so. You see? But in this case, sometimes it's okay because that's how sometimes coffee would look like, right? So let's just be okay with that. Okay, and then just figure out a way to now prime my stamps. So I'm happy that Caroline is actually up early and probably has a little bit more time today to join us because she is inking up some stamps. Excited much, my dear friend Caroline. And Shanna, enjoy your vacation. Or if you're back, you know how it is. Like, we need a vacation from our vacation, right? Especially when we are with family and then when we have younger kids with us, right? So it's like after the vacation, we also need another vacation to just, get our wits back and, a little bit of just relaxing. Okay. So there you go. Okay. Okay. Okay, so just a little bit more. See, that's bubbles. Bubbly. Okay, so there's this part. All right, so I think that's it. Okay, so now we can just clean this and I'll clean further later on. Okay, so let us start. Oh, okay. No. Some of the cups I might want to put. Okay. You see those? I'll show you that sometimes does happen. And what do you do? Okay, so what do you do when you have like new stamps and then you get like those kinds of effects? Okay, so do you throw them out? Do you start again? So in my case, no. Right? So this one, you kind of move the stamp kind of moved. So I will still not throw that away. I will still use it somehow. All right. So I'll show you what I do with these kinds of, boo-boos. But for now, okay, let's go back to some of the mugs. Okay, before I actually stop. Okay, or start additional coloring. I will stamp. Okay, and use some of these like leaves. Okay, maybe like to decorate your cup. Okay, that could be one okay thing you can do. Don't need to, but you can. All right. So with that one, you could probably use a little bit of a color to boot. Okay, I hope you got that. You know. Okay, one more. Okay, this one is a evergreen Altenew crisp dye ink. Let's just do that on one of the cups, right? Okay, and then probably use another one. Okay, the other one on another cup. Okay, so this one, see, I smeared it. Alright, so let's try. Again, we're just gonna enjoy. Right? So maybe this one, like, kind of like pumpkin spiced kind of look, because it's like Halloween is coming up soon. So a little bit on that color. Oh, that's nice. Okay, this one stamped. Could it be also the ink? Right? Because this one stamped perfect. All right, so there you go. So let's just go through all of them a little bit before I fussy cut. So we will start fussy cutting them, but I will just make sure that everything is dried up. Oop. Okay, yes, and thank you again to Shanna. Okay, hold on. Where is everybody? Martine, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Please say hi to Martine. Okay, I think she is from Canada, but probably the French speaking side. Could be wrong. But just, thinking out loud. Okay, and then I only like red lick. Oh, there are different kinds. Ooh. See? Like, how many kinds of licorice are there? Would you know? And I bet kids, just like me from before, also didn't like licorice in the beginning, right? Okay, I love red licorice also, said Vicky. Yeah. And Linda is saying hi to everybody who has come back just now or has arrived. Yes, thank you so much, Linda. Okay, Linda is such an awesome supporter of a lot of, crafting channels. So please do check her out. She is actually a not really into paper crafting that much, but she is an artist. Right? So she draws, she paints, right? And she is moderator of one of our dear friends. Okay, Gretchen. Images by Gretchen. Good morning, Tina. Hello, hello. All right, everybody saying hi to everybody. I love it. Okay, I missed up. Lachey Boutte is actually Linda. Yeah, so she is Linda. Thank you, Barbara, for asking. Yeah, sometimes if somebody's new, or sometimes because there's so many of us, right? So sometimes we bump into each other in other channels as well. And like sometimes there's so many Linda, or sometimes there's so many, who else? Susan, right? So it's okay that we oftentimes, forget. If you are speaking about YouTube member, you click join button and pick a membership. Yes, there you go. I don't have a join button. how is that? Okay, Vicky, I'll message you. Hi, Judy. Judy Ann is joining us on Facebook. That's her Facebook page, but she is actually an awesome crafter artist, especially with DIY. She can turn any scrap, I tell you, any, okay, into an amazing artwork. Okay, she is the crafty in me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All right, so please do check her out as well. She is based here in the Philippines as well. It should be right next to her name, Mommy Guide. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Okay, again, if only you like, you don't need to, my friends. Just being here, watching, okay, supporting us is more than enough. All right, and this is, okay, I might be saying this wrong way. Is it Kyra? Draco's wife. I love that. Hi! Thank you so much. I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. Sorry about that, my friends, but I hope that it's the thought that counts, right? So Kyra, okay. On this video, also looking at my phone to try and find it. Oh my goodness, I should make probably like a shorts on that one, right? Okay. I say that all the time, Lala. We need a vacation for our week. Exactly, right? So especially when my kids were young, my friends, it's like, you know how it is. Of course, as moms, we prepare all the things, especially when they were young. Formula, diaper, this and that, right? So disposable stuff and this, and then when you get home, you do the same thing, and then after that, I was just ready to, just hibernate. All right. So, but of course, it's on top under the video. Thank you, Barbara. Hi, Janet. All right. So, guys, if you do have something coming up pretty soon or already uploaded, please do share in the chat. Okay? Because if you share and then Sammy is going to look for it and we're going to share the links to that one. All right. So please do share. Okay. If you have something that is coming up, okay, maybe refresh your screen. Yes, that could be. Oh, happy birthday to your son. Yes, I know Yvette said it's like every month till January, somebody is celebrating a birthday in their family, right? So it's awesome, but I'm sure pretty tiring sometimes, right? So happy birthday, happy 30th birthday to Yvette's son. Okay, Martin said, I'm coming from Quebec, Canada, and I know Quebec is the French-speaking side of Canada. I didn't know how big, I've never been to Canada, but the first time Epcot ever opened, I think that was 2000, right? The millennium. So, and I was there. I think in the first or second year that Epcot opened up, and there's a place there where they showcase different parts, countries. And when I saw, it was like, how big Canada? It's like you can put several like countries into Canada, right? That's how big the country is. It was like, whoa, I was so blown. It was like you can go around like that and still not finish. Okay, so this is the whole Canada. That's how big their country is. I know, bigger than the US. I thought the US is like, guys, I'm from the Philippines and this is it. So we do have about 7,100 plus islands, depending whether it's high tide or low tide, right? So, but no matter where you go, any part of my country will just take you, the longest would be about 2 hours, longest north to south, all right? Shorter if it's like east to west coming from the central, where I am. The time is always the same. So the first time I got to travel when I was younger to the US, I was like, we were just going from the West Coast, going to the East Coast. The time has changed. I was like, how is that possible? Because that's how big, other countries were. So I think that's why I love, and my kids and I love traveling, because we get to know more about, the different, the rest of the world, right? So not just from the books, but to actually experience it, right? So I love that. So that's why I know that, there is a French speaking part, okay, in Canada. Yes, so Barbara says, happy birthday to your son, Yvette. And we have Wims. Good evening. Yes, Wims is also good evening, my friends, because she is also based here in the Philippines. And she is the BFF of Zell. All right, so sprinkle with cards, which you met earlier on. It's okay, Wims. We know you need to make sure Mira is still okay or sleeping and that you have finished your work, right? There you go, guys. So Wims, of course, priority would be Mira. Okay, her daughter. Yes, share away, said Sammy. Yes, so whimsical. Okay, maybe. Okay, whimsical thoughts is actually Maridan. It's just that I just really like her channel name, so I normally call her Wims. Okay, but that's really not her name. Her name is Maridan. Okay, so if you're just interested how you want to call her, okay, but I normally call her just Wims. All right, so happy birthday to your son from Sammy Pie. Okay. Oh, it's on the computer. Sorry about that, Vicky. Okay, I will probably do like somehow for us all, right? So I feel you because I'm also not techie. It's like when you say it's there, like you need to tell me, is it the third button, fourth button, where exactly left, right, top, right? So I feel you guys, right? So I wanted to know how tone on tone is done for today's prompt. Okay, so tone on tone is basically the same color family, Wim. So you're so familiar with this. It's just the name, kind of, make it a little bit more interesting. But basically color family. So there you go. And we have Santiago D. Hi. Okay, I think this is the first time that we have seen you in the chat. So welcome. Right, feel bonjour. Bonjour. Sorry, I don't know. Okay, exactly which one. Seems like yesterday I was holding him in. Exactly right, Yvette. So, I was earlier today, we were celebrating the graduation of my niece. Okay, my only blood relative niece. I have a lot of nieces, but it's like, because they're daughters of my friends, but this is really, the daughter of my brother. I couldn't believe she's already, it's her graduation from university. It's like, it was just, she is almost the same age as my daughter. They grew up just like, their sisters. It's like, how can this be? I used to just, whenever it's time to eat, she's just a crybaby. But every time she hears, the spoons and forks being placed on the table, she would stop and she would run towards the table. She loves to eat. Right, and now here's this beautiful young lady already, preparing for law school, right? So, yeah, so Wims and those who still have, younger, enjoy because, they suddenly start growing so fast and then you'll be amazed they're grown up, right? So enjoy the journey. All right. Thank you again, Barbara. Okay, Wims. Saying hi to everybody. Happy birthday to Yvette's son. Yes, there you go. I just posted a fun Halloween craft teaching how to make velvet pump. Awesome, right? It's just a stone throw away. In just about a week or so, or 2 weeks, it's going to be October and we're going to be full blast onto Halloween. So Sam, can you pull out Caroline's post on that one on her channel and share away? All right, there you go. Where did you post it, Kara? I'm not sure if I'm already following you on Instagram. Okay, check that out as well, Sam. Okay, all right. It's on her YouTube channel. So, Sam, please check and share. All right. Oh my gosh, my daughter did take up French, I think for 2 semesters. So, she is kind of, I think I've already mentioned this to you guys before. So, it's like in the middle of the night, I woke up because I needed to use the bathroom. And then I started hearing voices. I said, what's that? It was about 2 or 3 in the morning. So it's like, I was so scared. I grabbed whatever I could grab and then, slowly, went outside towards the dining room where I was hearing the voices. And I was so scared. It was actually Sam practicing her French. Since it was French, she couldn't understand. So she was practicing because she said, the house is quiet. It's best that she could hear herself practice better. So it was, you know, just funny. Yes, Laurie. Oh, thank you. Okay, I know Laurie is into so many. She's very, very busy at this point. A lot of weddings happening in the near future, and then of course, as crafters, she does have a lot of things to do. So thank you, Laurie. I know that you are always one of the very firsts. Okay, when I do. Actually do my live streams. All right, so let's now go back to. Okay, so we have stamped already. So for today, I didn't ask you anymore. I guess I knew that I am going to definitely be working with Lynn's stamps. All right. So what I'm going to do is, okay. So basically, when you say like tone on tone, so it has to be more or less like the same color family, like what we do with Copics, right? So we choose one that is example one. So others don't like it because they feel that it's not as interesting because it's like all the same color. It's monochromatic, so to speak, right? It feels like that, right? Because if they're of the same family. But for me, I find that very relaxing because I know that I will not mess it up because they're of the same family. How can I mess that up, right? But don't worry, I can still mess it up, and I've done it many times over. But basically, that is what we mean, okay, by that monochromatic thing. All right, so for today, that's what we are gonna be doing. So first, fussy cut, okay, so that we can mix and match, okay, all of this. Okay, so don't worry. I do fussy cut quite fast because I love doing this. It how I am, coloring stresses me out. On the other hand, okay, some of you guys get stressed, when you fussy cut, right? So in my case, I find that it's very relaxing to fussy cut because as you need to focus, it's like all things, all thoughts, all, your worries somehow, okay, needs to just, um, you know, take a back seat as you need to focus on, stuff. And somehow when you go back to reality, so to speak, right? So you have refocused and, the stress level somehow has lowered a little bit. Okay. And I will do one wherein it's, there's a little bit of a white border. So I sometimes do also, put in borders, but never really big borders. I find that when I have like very big white borders on the sides of my images, I don't know. It's like I find it harder to mix and match. Okay, again, that's just me, my friends. Okay. So we will just, okay, fussy cut the cup as well. Okay, and then normally, so that it's not big, I would cut out the bigger parts of, the image, and then I will just start, okay, fussy cutting away. Okay. There you go. So if you do want to have an early start onto your this could be matcha coffee, right? That's why it's a little bit on the green, right? So do you like matcha, my friend? Okay, so a lot of people swear that, matcha is delicious, it's good for your health, this and that. So when we went to Japan, so of course you can find a lot of matcha, right, in in Japan. So I did buy like that authentic ceramic matcha teacup, right, like that. And then when I tasted it, it was like, oh my goodness. It's like, for me, anyways, it tasted like I was drinking dirt. Okay, so that is what it tasted for me. But, my other relatives and my siblings, they love it. So maybe it's, kind of an acquired taste of some sort. So, it has improved. Before I could really not touch it, no matter whether. So maybe I said, oh, maybe I need to buy the more expensive one, maybe it tastes better. But no, it for me it like tasted the same, just a little bit more expensive, right? But eventually I did get used to the taste. So it's not something that I would like look for. But if there is no other choice, I would, yeah, I can drink matcha now, unlike before. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I will create several cards out of this one. Okay, so really, the prompt for today is one of the easiest. And I'm so grateful because the past couple of prompts have been stressful for me. As you know, it's all about coloring, watercolor, right? And coloring in general. So, oh my goodness. All right. So I'll show you what's wrong with this stamping. All right. So, of course, if you are a beginner, don't worry. Doesn't matter. The important thing is that you are able to stamp away, right? So that and foremost, and that you are able to use your stash. Okay, but eventually, if you want to make that. Okay, so look at this one. Look, this is very thick compared to this other line. So it means that I might have pressed on the stamp a little bit too hard so that the stamp somehow was squished to make it, a little bit wider. So yes, polymer stamps, unlike your red rubber stamps, aren't as rigid as the red rubber stamp. So if you put too much pressure, yeah, so that's why they said don't do CPR, but rather, just, glide through it, just a little bit of a pressure. And I don't know if it was Vicky or Susan who said, just don't push. Just, put a little bit pressure, stay there for a while, let go. Push for a little, but I'm very impatient. Okay, so do as I say, not as I do. So that's the thing. I do know the theory, but by being impatient, and my always excuse is that since I'm live, so and so, right? So, but yes, I do know what the theory is, how you're supposed to do it. Okay, and this one, okay, so what's wrong with this? Okay, so with this one, as you can see, the stamp, the stamp positioner, there is a sticky mat. It kind of moved. So you have like the ghosting part in. But I will not, throw that away. We'll still make use of it. Again, these are handmade, right? So the things we do are handmade. So perfection is really, not something that one can always, achieve in a handmade product. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's also nice because, it's handmade. You see, part of the imperfection of that one is what makes it truly unique, right? So we may all be using the same stamps, the same products, but eventually when you look at it and you see it, it still has that original feel to it because of it being handmade and not robot. So even if you use the same material, you create, let's say, 50 of that. Okay, if you look at it, it's like your fingerprint. It will always be unique in a specific way, right? Then that's how handmade is, right? So gentle with yourself, give yourself grace, right? So you are doing this, we are doing this first and foremost, to help ourselves. So, because for me, really, crafting is my happy place. So they say, don't you get tired, right? So you've been working the whole day and then at night, like since August, you've been going live. No, because crafting is my happy place. If I could just craft the whole day long and not work, like that would be the best kind. Right? But then again, of course not. Okay, this is my worst, okay, stamped image for the day. Okay, and I'll show you how we can, you know, um, somehow salvage that. Okay, resuscitate it, so to speak. Right? Okay, but if you really have, you are a very perfectionist person, no judgment, okay, you really want to make it look like really, really perfect, then absolutely you can always start anew. As we say, it's only paper, right? So don't stress yourself out. Again, remember we said, okay, Stash-tember is supposed to be fun. So if, by joining, submitting, it makes it hard for you, it makes it, stressful, then don't, you don't need to create anything. If you have time, you're able to watch us live or on replay, that is more than enough. And maybe, okay, I know that. Okay, so probably September, I'm very busy. But in October or in December, I will try to smash my stash. And that is more than enough. Right? So again, for those who actually want to submit some of their works, okay, that they you are crafting along with us today, and you want to share what you have done either tonight or the other days, finally I got access to my Discord again. So Wims, you can really submit again now on Discord. So Austin has been able to bring me in again and give me admin status again, right? So I've been out of my Discord for all more than a year. Okay, as I was looking at the Discord, Wims and Anna were the last posts, and it was 2024. Okay, you will also get their notifications for everything that I do. Okay, lives, shorts, and everything. And then there's a different channel for everything. Let's say you want to talk about organization. So we don't have to look for where did she say that, right? So there's a specific channel where you talk about organization. There's a specific channel where we talk about this specific episode, right? So it's easy to find stuff. Okay, it's easier to communicate with each other, ask questions, etc., etc. All right, so there you go. So let us, okay, so this already has a flower, so I don't want to put, okay, too much design onto that one. All right, and maybe this one, okay, since this has a flower, this could kind of like coordinate with that one. And for this one, our pumpkin spiced, maybe copy, okay, this kind of, okay, let me see, which one do I want for you? All right, and this one, okay, could be this one. Okay, and this one would be this one. Oh, this one's a swan. How cute is that? There's a swan. All right, so we have used basically all of the different latte art. Okay, so what do I do with all of the others? Okay, so let's go with that one. Okay, let me see. Okay, so for the ones that I made a mistake, I would normally, let's say, grab a black ink and then just go over, okay, the parts that where it didn't stamp properly. Okay, and I would do that ever so slowly if you can, so that you could really make nice, okay, outlines. So you would see, okay, eventually that those, okay, but then again, sometimes those imperfections, Make it really. So you see, do you see the difference between the left and the right now? They both used to look the same, mottled and like, but now look. Hey, come on, focus. Doesn't want to focus. There you go. Right? So this one, I run it over with a black marker. Okay, this one is what it looked like in the beginning. So don't throw it out. Okay, don't throw it away just yet. Okay, you can still salvage that. Again, if you want, the look that is a little bit more polished, but if you're okay with, sometimes coffee art does look like that, right? So there are bubbles. Okay, it's not really perfect. So if you're gonna be okay with that, then this is gonna be, just fine. But if you want it to look a little bit more polished, you can always go over it with an alcohol marker, like so. Right? So don't stress out, my friends. Okay. And one wouldn't even know that there were imperfections, okay, right there in the beginning. Okay. So you see? All right. Ta-da! Okay, and then you could probably, for those dark brown ones, you could just get a dark brown. Okay, and then just try going over some of that. Okay, oh, it's different. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just check, okay, before we go back. The members are first to go. Same here. Okay, Discord's back up, so don't be shy and share your awesome creations with the community. Yes, I always hate to drink those and mess up the beauty. Right? It's like, oh, I can't make, I can't drink this. Oh, another fun fact, my friends, I actually did a barista class. And I actually know how to make these things. Probably not as good as Lynn because they really had, a cafe. But I do know how to make these kinds of, because that time I was going to open up my, what do you call this? My board game cafe, right? And so I wanted to serve, coffee, okay? Signature coffee like that. So I learned how to, but then the pandemic came, and so there you go. These are some pretty designs for the coffee. Love it, right? It's very, very realistic. Again, it's inspired by Lynn's love for coffee. And we're grateful that Cat Scrappiness, agreed to do that product for her. And then eventually, I know that Not Too Shabby also collaborated with this release. I think they also did this time for Not Too Shabby was the sentiments, I think. But I don't have that as well. So we're just gonna, tweak the sentiments that go with this tonight, and then eventually Not Too Shabby and Lynn also coordinated, and they released the Easy Wonder Dice 1, 2, and 3, and now the very versatile Snow Globe and many others, right? So amazing. I love the different companies. And I hope that we support, these companies because they give chance to, crafters like Lynn and Meg and some of our other dear friends, the opportunity to have, their dream, their inspiration be turned into a product that would also be inspiring for us, right? So of course we like our mentors. I will always love Jennifer Maguire, from my scrapbooking days. But it's also amazing and would, a great opportunity for us to also support, our, the crafters within our own small community, right? So there, I have been, okay, let me see. It's just too small. I cannot. Okay, I've been learning how to barista. Go, Vicky. I actually have a shorts. I just don't know because it's probably like 4 years ago, maybe one of my earliest shorts where I showed me, doing the what do you call that? The latte art. Okay, with my trimmers, but I do it. I'm just a volunteer at local community center, but it's really been fun. But I don't do that art stuff, right? That's awesome, right? So that's always, my take. The one of the reasons I wanted to do what we're doing right now, right? So doing crafty content is because I feel that although we are of a certain age, that doesn't mean that um, we stop learning, right? So there is always that opportunity to continue learning, not because we have grown a certain age that oh my, these are not Copic safe inks, these are dye inks, so I have to be careful with the sides because they may smear. All right, so if I should have used. Okay, remember guys, okay, that not all inks are safe for alcohol markers. So now I can actually see that the inks are moving. Okay, so I probably won't color in the others because I would if it's watercolor, but this is alcohol marker, and I used ink that is safe for watercolor but not for alcohol markers. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't want to smear it further, but since I already started, I have to push through with it. Okay, I am just trying not to touch the borders because those were um, not Copic or alcohol markers safe. Therefore, they will bleed like crazy. All right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is this side. Okay, I want to one of the things, instead of using an X-Acto knife and having a hard time removing this, I will just cut along the sides and then eventually find a way to hide the fact that this has been cut on the sides, right? So it does look nicer when you remove the sides of the cup, like so. Okay, so I will remove all of that and then I will put this together as well. Guys, if you are new and you're here for the first time, please don't forget to, give us a like and consider subscribing, right? And of course, if you can, sharing is caring, how you got here and found us, right? So thank you so much. Right, and if you did subscribe, please make sure that you hit that notification bell, as that really works. And guys, there has been the people of YouTube, okay, just happened last week, and there's so many things that are being rolled out, so watch out for all of those. Okay, I will probably have Roy in the channel, Mr. Tech Troublemaker, so that he can share with us, because Roy is also very crafty, unknown to a lot of people. He's not just into tech, so he could share with us all the updates, okay, in one of our episodes. And of course, when one visits my channel as a guest, yes, they do need to craft along. Okay, unless it's a podcast episode where it's really just, we're going to be talking alongside each other. Okay, so what I wanted to do with this one, though, let me see if I can. I will try. I will try. Right, is to, show you that, I just want to basically be using, different shades. Okay, so colors within, okay, the same family. Okay. Okay, so there you go. When I'm coloring, I become quiet as I try to focus on not messing it up because I'm so good at messing up stuff, especially during the abstract. If you want to learn more about coloring, head on to Whims, Key of Whimsical Thoughts, especially if it's about the Kuhu markers. She is an expert on. So in this case, I'm just trying to color in this one with, okay, these are, this one's Altenew, okay, markers. Okay, so, okay. Okay. We will dry it a little so I can layer it again. So no like going away crazy like what do you call that? Compliments like that. So more or less, very similar shades and stuff like that. Okay, in terms of the coloring. Okay, so as they say in the beginning, it does look ugly, okay, but just keep on doing it. Okay. Right. Okay, and then we'll pick up, okay, the next color and kind of blend it together. Right, so that's how it kind of should look. Some of our friends are actually, a day or so behind. Some are still just starting. And again, as I said, it doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you're doing Stash-tember your own way, whether it be I just want to watch, okay, or I want to do it like my own pacing, right? So I did put up the prompt. Okay, I would put it on the Discord as well, right? So that is our coffee cup. Okay, so there you go. So all the colors are used, okay, somehow, okay, are not exactly the same, but more or less, the same color family, so to speak. All right, so we can go over and over it again. So when I was starting coloring, friends, I thought that when you color, you lay it out big time, that's it, right? So but one thing I learned from our friends like Wims, right? So you can go over it again, right, until you find that you know um kind of a blend or intensity, okay, of color, that you want. And then again, as I said, I am no longer after perfection. as long as it's something that I like. Okay, it's something I should like. Okay, because there will always be people who will not like you or what you do for whatever reason, right? So important thing is I like it. And hopefully you guys will also find inspiration. Okay, whether because of what you saw you realize I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna do something else, right? But that still has inspired you somehow, right? So something like that. So I realized I can actually color and just make sure that I do it very, very carefully so I don't smear it, right? So let me just see. I will just make use of whatever I have here. All right. So because, okay, this is like fall inspired. So with this one, what I'm going to do is I really am not going to color in everything. Okay. So just like how Stan, okay, Stan Brown, our dear friend, was a cartoonist. That's how he taught me how to color in some of the cartoon stuff that we did together past. So there you go, right? So that is already done. Okay, and so it's something a little bit lighter and try to just color in. So I'm trying not to touch the black edges because I don't want to smear. I'm getting braver and braver because I don't really care. I really had to let go, as I said, right? So recovering hoarder and perfectionist, right? So one of the reasons, so for those who don't know, if you would check my channel, you would see that channel started 2009, right? Because I started my YouTube channel as a passion project. Okay. So that year I graduated from my Master also Business Administration. So I said, having a 1-year-old child and a toddler, or not toddler, but I think Sam was 8 or 9, and then having a baby and then going, leading or part of several businesses and then doing my MBA. So it did took quite a toll in terms of my mental health and stuff. So I said I need, right? So I need like a passion project. And since Sammy was the one who inspired me to actually do content, you know what, I think I want to try that YouTube thing. So I thought that going on YouTube doing content, because for Sam's channel I hired somebody to do all the videos, the recordings. Okay, they record Sam and stuff like that. I just needed to buy all the stuff. So I bought a computer, cameras and stuff. So I thought that was enough. But in the end, I even hired like a social media manager so that they would take care of all the things. But, in the end, it's like they need prompts. So in terms of content, what do you want me to do? I don't know, because I didn't even know I don't even know how to do Facebook, my friends, for the life of me, right? So how can I guide and lead and stuff like that? So eventually I realized, what? No. So I gave up, and then I just picked up on creating content during the lockdown. So that was about 4 years ago. So if you would see that there was nothing for more than a decade on this channel, because I didn't know what to put up. I didn't even know how YouTube worked, how social media. I don't even know how to post on Facebook. That is how bad I was, right? So I I just thought, oh, buy this, buy that, and then everything will work out for itself. No, right? So it was more than that. Okay, so we have that. See, all the cups have different colors, so to speak. So let me on to. Okay, so I hope that you're seeing that this is what we mean by when you say like it's like tone on tone. So it's like the darker one, lighter one, right? So again, same color family. Okay. And I think by, I did a little bit of, I heated earlier. So that has helped. So I am not getting too much of a smearing in terms of, when I go through the sides. Okay. Okay. And then I just, go back with the darker shade again. So the lightest always is like my base. Okay, and then I will go over the next darker shade. Okay, so sometimes I use 2 to 3 colors like that. And then I'll go over with the lightest shade again to kind of blend it. Okay, and I would go over that several times. Okay, until I feel that I kind of have, the blend that I like. Okay, let me see. What are you guys saying? Oh, okay. Okay, there's something that's not happening on other gadgets? And 74 said Vicky, and learning to barista. Who knew? Exactly, right? So we are not done learning, right? So what is this one? Oh, on the iPad? Yes, actually Vicky was also, remember I redirected last night. And thank you guys for, just saying hi to Debbie. Okay, because it was pretty late also for you guys. But you did stay and you just said hi to Debbie. And I really, really appreciate that, my friends. Because, it does take a bit of a effort to do the content that, we do. But then again, we do it because we like it, right? So I hope that Susan is okay. She has been supporting us very, very much the past couple of days. All right, so just one more. And I'm thinking maybe, I don't think I have enough card base for that. So we can let go of this one. So we'll just do 4 for now. Okay, let me just go back to the chat. Okay, I really enjoy it when I can. I've been able to join a lot of lives since laid up for a while. That's great, Vicky. And sometimes that's how I started in our community. Okay, I went to Florida. I went to Creator Camp. Okay, so that was the first Creator Camp where Caroline went on the second one. I was able to. So after Creator Camp, okay, my friend from university, who is, so I was in Boston, she said, hey, come on over to Florida. It's just a 2-hour flight. I said, and it's my birthday. We haven't spent my birthday for the longest time. I said, okay. So she said she wanted me to stay for 5 days. I said, how about your work? No, I haven't gone on a vacation leave for the longest time. So I will use all of my leaves for you. So we will paint the town red and stuff like that. And so she decided we will go to Universal, we will go to the Disney and stuff like that. Because, Florida has the biggest ones anyways. So I said, yes, that would be nice. But this time I was traveling alone. And so I told my friend, can I request that instead of the theme parks, can we go to the craft stores instead? Because I asked Lynn, and Lynn told me that, this is here, so this is that, right? So instead of going through those, I went through, the different, the stores. Right. And when I got back, I was so jet lagged. That I would wake up at midnight. And then by noontime, my time, I'd be fast asleep. I would wake up again around 10, 11 in the evening. And that happened for almost a month. And so, in the end, halfway through, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna fight this. I'm just gonna let it until it stops, right? And so I ended up, of course, my morning is your nighttime. Your nighttime is my morning. So my nighttime is like your daytime. And so I was able to start watching, the live streams from you all. And then I started commenting, and then I got to know, several people, and that's how it started. That's how it started for me. Right, so I do feel you, my dear friends. Right, so we have an awesome community, and being from the Philippines, you definitely hear it. Okay, that I do have a different accent, right? So I say some words, kind of differently from the rest of you guys, right? But despite that, I realized, that was one of the things that had stopped me from actually, creating on YouTube or creating content, because I thought that, that might be something that might stop me from, making content, because some people might not be comfortable with the way I say things and stuff like that. But I was surprised. See, it is like I am harder. Okay, it's like I am my worst. What do you call that? I am my worst critic, so to speak. Everybody was so supportive. Everybody was so welcoming in the chat, and I realized that all my fears were really, for nothing. Okay, because everybody was just amazing in terms of, support and all of those, all of those things. All right, so now we will just put this together. I am looking for my adhesive. Okay, if you have been watching Vicky's channel, she would always give us this tip, what she learned from Paper Ganza. Okay, so you see me again, right? So you know what? I should start looking for a cup, and then you just spritz it with, put some tissue and spritz it with water. Okay, that's what Vicky has learned, okay, in Paper Ganza. And she has been sharing that almost on all of her videos. She would remind us that is an awesome way to keep the nozzles of your adhesives from being clogged up, right? So it's just these days I've just been really, really very busy. That it's like when I come home, it's, oh my gosh, I just have enough time to eat, and then, set up, open the lights, open the computer and stuff like that, and it's time to go live. So again, no preparations, no, and oftentimes I would even ask you, what do you want me to do, right? So, and that in the beginning might be like scary, but you'll realize that it's not so. Okay, it's actually quite fun. That's why I think I love MCA. MCA is Mystery Craft Along, and that is one of the challenges that our dear friend Lynn of LV Handcrafted has on her channel. The first time I joined MCA, it was so much fun. I really don't like those kinds where I'm not prepared, but somehow, not knowing what you actually are going to be doing, and not just me, everybody doesn't know what they're doing, somehow was so much fun. I got hooked. So if you would see that almost in every mystery craft along that Lynn does host, I am probably almost always there. And my favorite cheat mate is Yvette, because somehow Yvette can really understand, no matter who leads it, how she is able to unpack the clues, like flip, twist, turn, right? So we would like, when you say flip, when you say turn, what does that look like, right? So my favorite shitmate is I would look at what is Yvette doing. Oh, okay, I'll do that, right? So, and the most nerve-wracking of it all is when I'm the one leading. And I think I have led Mystery Craft along for, I think 3 times already. And every time, I'm always very grateful that one of, the volunteers for, in the past or in the future, once we join MCA, would give, time to check out my instructions. As you know, English is not my primary language. So sometimes it's like no visual clue all the time. You can do visual clues, but not all the time. And somehow that is like, how do you explain that you fold it into that, and then you what do you call that? You score diagonally this way and that way. Like, it's so easy if you can see it, but if you're just gonna, write it in words and give instructions, it's like the easiest of things can be so hard, right? And I think one of the people who have checked out my instructions, the latest one for us from Sire, prior to Sire, it was Irene Smith, and then Brian, I think, did my very first one. Okay. So I've learned to cope with the stress, be okay with it, okay, and just really have fun. Okay? Amazingly. And if you see, I normally create just one card, right? It would always be about 2 or more cards. I don't know. I just find that, working with more cards for me, it's like in my mind, if something happens, I have a backup. Right? That's why I normally, even during MCA, like, it's not because, I want to show off or anything that I can make cards like that. No, it's not about that. It's my, comfort, like my comfort activity, that knowing that if something happens to one of, the cards I'm making, I always have like a backup, right? So that is why, right? So there you go. It's not for anything else. It's really more of, it helps me from being, too stressed out. Okay. There was one mystery craft along where I wasn't the one who was going to lead. Okay, but I was going to be part of the ones who were going to do the crafting online with Lynn. And so when I woke up, I was surprised. Like, everybody was messaging me. Jay was messaging me. Aren't you supposed to be here? It's like, and then other friends were messaging me. I said, and then I told, when I woke up, I said, Lynn, what happened? Isn't the Mr. Craft along tomorrow morning? I even showed them in the in the group. We had to have a group. I showed them that oh, I've already cut all my pieces. I'm ready to go. Right? It's like a week before I was so ready to be there, and I missed it. In my mind, it was gonna be the day before. Ah, gosh, that is sometimes um, the bane of being in a different time zone, so to speak, right? So it's like, oh my goodness, I absolutely missed it. And I was so looking forward to that because it was going to be Irene. And it was Irene's very first time to lead an MCA. And I absolutely wanted to be there. As prior to her, it was me who led, and she was the one who checked out, my MCA. Who Okay, so that we do that, friends, so that we know if the instructions that we have done, if the one who tested it is able to do so. So more or less we know that, okay, it's just a matter of really trying to understand, and it's doable. That's why we do have somebody test it out for us, right? So, and Irene was super awesome. It's like she really went through all the prompts. Maybe this has to be it's like and I had like what, 42 instructions. So to go through that, okay, it took us like several days of going back and forth, with messages and stuff. So I really wanted to be there to support her during her maiden leading in MCA, and I failed. And those things happen if you're going to be a content creator, friends. Okay, so you have to be ready. Okay, facing, imperfections and stuff like that. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. Okay, sooner or later, you're going to, make something not to your liking, not, not your usual, take, but you just have to go roll with the punches, so to speak, right? So let me see. Okay, so this is again another stamp set I have not used. Okay, so maybe though it's supposed to be like Christmas or hot cocoa inspired. Okay, but then we could probably use it as well for here, or maybe use this one, another honeybee. Okay, that I've not used. There it says more coffee please, right? So we could do more coffee please. Okay, for one of them. Okay, so we could probably do that for that one. Okay, and then is there another coffee theme here? Coffee. Coffee helps me. Coffee till you drop. Okay, what else? Okay, let me see. You warm my heart and soul. Okay, so maybe this one, okay, can be for this one, and I will just stamp it, okay, onto a, okay, all right, and then, okay, so maybe the others, okay, I don't need to stamp. Okay, maybe I could use some, word, ephemera, be your beautiful and happy self. Okay, but that somehow doesn't go with coffee. Okay, so we will, okay, all right. So this one, okay, I actually forgot that we do have that. Where's the stamp? Where is the stamp set, my friends? Okay, I just need to look for it. I know I placed it somewhere. Somewhere. The rest of the stamp set must be here somewhere. Okay, there you go. Because I need this. The coffee, like it is warm and okay, cozy, like so. All right, so probably that one. So I should have stamped this prior to. Sorry, friends. I just needed to get a stamping block. Okay, so it's like kind of smoky. So we're just gonna do something not too dark, a subtle, you know, glow. Let me just check this one and stamp this a trial first. Check trial. Stamping. Okay. So let me see. Okay, so it has to be like that. Okay. All right. All right, there you go. Okay, and then we will put our sentiment. Where did I put my sentiment? It was just here a while ago. Okay, and then we will also do the same with the other stamp. Okay. Right. All right. So this too, since the background is kind of busy, so we're not gonna put any of those like hot steaming coffee kind of thing, right? And we'll just where is my stamp that says is this the one? More coffee, please. Yes, it's gonna be okay. This one. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So let's just put it here. My waffle flower sticky mat. The other day, it was like, friends, what do you call these, friends? I cannot remember. All right, so more coffee, please. Okay. All right, so I probably would want to put a little more. Okay. It's not straight. Okay. Okay, there you go. All right, so more coffee, please. Okay, who normally says that? More coffee, please. So, most crafters are actually coffee lovers. More coffee, please. There you go. And that is done. Okay. Done. Okay, so that's one card. Okay, so let's do this one. Okay, so I will stamp this one onto this. Okay, so I'll remove that. Pick that up. Okay, and for this one, let's have a bit of orange. Okay, for a play. Okay, you warm my soul. So somehow, coffee, you warm my soul. You warm my heart and soul. All right. So what we can do with that, okay, is to cut that out. So, okay, and then turn this around. Okay. This is a double-sided, card stock. Okay, this. All right, there you go. Sorry about that. Okay, not too thick of a border. Okay, and then we will cut it. Okay, and then, okay, like that. Ta-da! This one somehow kinda missing something. I feel, okay, maybe I want to put that kind of a smoke a little bit like going that way. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do that. Okay, see, just cover your eyes because this might be a hot mess, but I don't care. Okay, I do it just because I want to do it. Okay, this is raised. Take note that this is raised. So I am stamping on something that is raised. All right. There you go. Yes, I think that's better. See? Just have to be brave about it. All right. Okay, so we do have a sentiment for that, a sentiment for this. Now we just need 2 sentiments for this one. Okay, does it have to be really like coffee inspired? Let me see. I don't think I have any. Okay, so let's probably do some inspirational, Okay, so probably coffee set. No, this is not a coffee set. How about coffee delicious? No. So probably we'll just do the same sentiments, right? So why not, right? So we'll just do the same sentiments. Okay. So, and then we'll put it on white. Okay, so let's. I do have a lot of, white strips already. So let's just grab one. Okay, and then we will just. All right, there you go. And then this time we're just gonna clean the stamp and what? Okay. So what color do we want for that one? Maybe we would want like a shade of that green. You know how dirty my hands are. So let's do that. All right. So you are my soul. Okay. Whoops. I am accidentally. Okay. There you go. So you are my soul. Where is my small paper trimmer? There's just me here, but I keep losing stuff, right? So for those who are doing content and live streams or even, recorded ones, that happens, right? So it's like one time, 1 minute you have it and then another minute, like, where did I put it? Where is it? Right? So, okay. So I'll probably put it somewhere here. Okay, so to have a kind of a different look. Okay, and then we will have a fishtail onto this side. Okay, gosh, I haven't looked at the chat in a while. Hold on. Now everything is now even my scissors are missing. Okay, it's a good thing I have another pair over here. Okay. After this, I'm gonna check the chat before I do the last one. Okay, it's almost Oh, it's only 11:08. In fairness, I'm not too late today. Okay. All right. Okay, there you go. All right, so we have one, two, three, and the fourth one. Okay, the last but not the least. So, where is the one that says have more? So, where did I put that stamp, my friend? Okay, it's here somewhere. Okay, okay, here. Okay, so let's put that onto. Okay, I want just a solid one. Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay. So let's put this over here. That's why I love sticky mats, my friends. Sticky mats are heaven sent. Okay, again, for a long while we used magnets, but magnets sometimes, are kind of thick. Oh, okay. What is happening to my, what do you call that? Oops. My camera. Okay, more coffee, please. Who wants more coffee? I'm sure if we do meet up like face to face for an event, coffee will always be one of the things that should be like an overflowing, supply of. All right, so there. So let's do something. I'm thinking if I want to do it like that. I think it's better if it's. All right, so I'll just raise that a bit. Right. Awesome. So I hope that. Okay, let me see. Has somebody submitted on Discord? Okay, because probably you guys, I will create a video on Discord so that yes, I know, especially if it's new to you, it's something like, okay, I make it sound easy, but maybe if it's your first time, it's not, something that you can really understand as of now. All right, so let me just check Discord if there is. Oh. Because normally if somebody submitted, I will hear a click, click, click like that. Okay, so far there is none. Oh, the last submission was from Wims, March 1, 2025, actually here. Right, so this was Wims' submission on, one of her journals before. Right, so that's what it's gonna look like if you, do submit in the future. All right, so let us just go back to the chat before I finally showcase everything, and we are done for day number 18. Yes. So again, thank you so much for being here, and not just here, for checking out the other friends also in the chat. Much bigger. I actually watch you guys on my TV. Right? Well, I gotta get going, taking my dad to his appointment. Thank you, Barbara. I think I missed that, so probably Barbara has been gone for a while. And Wims is saying, I'm crafting along with you for day 18, so I can't type much. That's fine. And hopefully, Wims, if you could put that onto our Discord so that tomorrow we will show them, okay, what you have done so far. I love coffee, and so does a lot of people. Thank you so much, Laurie. Almost done. Thank you, Caroline. All right, so Wims, are you still there? Are you able to submit? Okay, or will we showcase it tomorrow? Okay, so again, let's look at this stamp set. Okay, this is Lynn's. This is from Cat Scrappiness. Again, I would really, really need to thank Shanna because, Shanna did not just give this to me, she sent it over as well. I can't find the. Anyway, so this is the whole because I removed it. So it has several, latte art. Okay, and not the. Okay, so I don't know where I placed the other stamps. Anyway, there are several other latte arts. And then you have several of, these flowers that you can put on the cup or put on top, like so. This is the pour yourself a latte. This is Lynn's design. Okay, and then Cat Scrappiness was the one who collaborated with her to turn this into an awesome product. Okay, so I just need to clean my stamps, later on, okay, with a stamp cleaner, because this will be cleaned, can be cleaned super well, okay, with a stamp cleaner. Okay, I just need to see. You can easily remove it. Okay, just need to focus on cleaning that later on. So for the card bases, my friends, this is from the Not Too Shabby, okay, a cozy cup card fronts. Okay, so they released this for the month of September, right? So you can check this out on the Not Too Shabby website, and I'm going to come up with a video featuring this one on the 21st, because this is part of the mood board challenge. So if you want to join that as well, you can have an opportunity to win a $15 gift check from Not Too Shabby. All right, so, and then for the others, okay, so this one is actually part of a mystery sampler kit from Kendra's Card Challenge, but I removed it and used it as a background. All right, so again, you see the tone on tone that I did for the cup. Basically, that is, and then the sides of it. So 3 different colors of the same family. The same with this one, except for the latte art, right? The same with this one, 3 different green colors. Right, so again, this one says more coffee please. The background of which of this, as you can see, this is a pattern paper. It's 12 by 12 by Vicky Botin, and I just cut it into 4¼ by 5½, okay, card fronts, so that when I need it, I can put it in like so. I just added I fussy cut this one, added this, and added the sentiment, more coffee please, right? And another more coffee please. See, different, same font, same text, rather same sentiment, okay, different, same stamp set, but very, very different look, right? So that's why don't be afraid to experiment with your stash, with your, you can turn it into many different, looks. Again, this is from the Not Too Shabby card front. Okay, this is, okay, another, okay, a paper from Vicky Botin that I just cut. I love it that there's gold foiling onto that one, as well of the feel of a mixed media project. Okay, if you're in a hurry, perfect, right? So this one, You Warm My Soul, My Heart and Soul. Okay, the stamp set sentiment is actually from my favorite things, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think it is, or is it Mama Elephant? Oh gosh, I cannot remember. Where did I put it? Oh, no. The first one. Oh yes, it's not my favorite things. It's Mama Elephant. So the first one, more coffee please, is from Honeybee. Okay, and the other sentiment, You Warm My Heart and Soul, is from Mama Elephant. Both of which I have not used until now. All right, so I reused the You Warm My Heart and Soul, okay, for this one. So those are the 4. We did 4 very easy cards today. All right, so I'm not sure if Wims can finish before we end. So if ever Wims, can you kindly post it on our Discord? And on tomorrow's show, I will showcase your or you know what? You know what? Okay. I said I'm going to color. Okay, the one that I was supposed to color last night. But the thing is, I cannot find him. Okay, so remember I stamped that the zebra, the raccoon, and what's the other one? And it was just here before the start of the show, and now I cannot find it because I am supposed to color it with, you know, these chameleons. Okay, so let me see. Okay, bye, Barbara. Oh, done sending on this card. All right, let me check. All right. Okay, let me just show that. All right, I see it. Okay, so let's show. All right, so Wims was able to send in her day 18. All right, and this is it, my friends. All right, so for her, oh, I know this. I recognize this stamp set. Okay, so this stamp set is from one of our dear partner stores here in my show. That's Papel at Iba Pa. That's Joss Original. Yes, it's an original faith-based stamp, which she released last year. Right, so you can check that out on Papel at Iba Pa, PAPELATBP's website, right? And these are the inks, okay, that Wims used. So if you could see, all right, so you have this greens. Whoops, sorry about that. Right, so this greens and yellows, and then this blues and green somehow, right? And using that stamp set and all of those inks, this is what she came up with as a tone on tone. A beautiful, look at that background, my friends. Amazing, right? And then she did even the sentiment is of the same color. Okay, so believe. Okay, I cannot read those. Hold on. Let us, okay, make it bigger. Believe, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. From Mark chapter 33, I believe, and verse 24. Again, that is part of, the stamp set. So again, this is what that card looks like. Okay, let's take, all right, a more close-up look. Okay, so if you can see the background, how Wims did that. So she did probably smushed the background first with, this, a little bit of all the different colors, and then used, this, okay, that leaf, okay, and stamp that here several times, layering it, right, to create something like that. Okay, and then added those, those cross signs. Okay, again, that's that part of the stamp. Okay, to put that, element onto that. So if you look at it closely, so she did an amazing thing with this card. Actually, she has been smashing all of the daily prompts, right? So I'm super proud of you and so grateful, Wims, right? So here's another look. Okay, another view of, this time it's a little bit, on its side. All right, so there you go, my friends. I hope that you are enjoying, okay, going through every inch of Wims, card for today. And that is how awesome Discord is, my friends, right? So I can immediately, in an instant, showcase your, and it will stay there. And if you want, you can just go back to that channel in my Discord server to check out. And if you want to see the other challenges that we had in the past, they have their own, okay, over there as well. Okay, thank you so much, Wims. You made it. You did it. We are so blessed. Okay, and that's such a beautiful. Okay, it's discard. Okay, Wims, next time, can you put it also on? Okay, we did. I did have. I created a new channel down below on that general. You'll see Stash-tember 2025. So if you could upload that again, so everybody, because now we don't call it Team Bahay anymore, so we're doing it for like a series. So now it's Stash-tember. Okay, so there is a channel underneath, right? So there you go. I love smooshing. I can release all the stress and worries away by smooshing it. She loves smooshing. I am scared of smooshing. As I said, something I cannot control is like kind of scary for me. But when we see others, how they do it and how they embrace it, it's really very inspiring, right? So when I actually see others do it, it's somehow, okay, I will relax. I can do this, right? Lovely card, Miss Williams. Exactly, right, Jaden? Thanks. Joining the fun. Send your creations in Discord too. Yes, I hope so. Beautiful cards, Wims. Yes. Okay, I found it. Thank you, Wims. Right. So hopefully in the future, or if you joined us in the past, you posted something on Instagram already, so I can showcase it here during our show, right? Whether you posted it on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, you can post that and then tell us where we could find that. You can also add the links to where you posted that, so everybody who's on the Discord can actually check that out as well. Right? So it's easy for everybody to find all of your posts. Okay, Caroline, if you need help with Discord, message me, my dear friend. I would love to help you out with that. All right, so I hope that this has inspired you, my friends, to join us once again. Oh, I heard, okay, somebody. All right, okay, so just one look. Okay, Wims again posted, okay, on our Discord, and this is what she showed. Okay, so other things. So this is a different day. All right, so she posted this as well on her Instagram and other. So when you post it, like in this case, I think Wims mentioned what day. All right, so she said day 1, oldest never. Okay, hold on. Okay, so it says day 1, oldest never used stamp. Okay, and if you want to check this out again, also it is on her Instagram and on her Facebook, but having it on the Discord, you can easily see it. And then there's a Wims, can you also put a link onto the Instagram or where you want us to follow you to check this out as well? All right, so that is it. Thank you, Wims, for helping me showcase how we actually use Discord. We have been using Discord for the longest time. We just had to stop for a year because I couldn't access my Discord. All right, thank you so much, my friends. You are all amazing. I hope that we're nearing, tomorrow is Friday. Again, it's, time flies by so fast. It's almost the end of the week. By the way, friends, this Saturday, I did mention that Jay of Crafts by Jay is joining me for, of course, our series on faith journaling. But we are going to bump it off about a week later, because we decided that we want to work on a different verse, so to speak, right? So we need time to prepare for that for next week. So I hope that you could join us next week for that. All right, and okay, I finally found everything. Okay, so again, thank you for always checking if I'm on mute, right? So you guys are awesome. And yes, please, if you have not liked yet, okay, this episode, please, I hope that you would do so. And yes, this is very important right now, as this one, if you really hit this, notification bell on the content creators channel that you like, definitely you will be given a notification. All right. So if you do want to get notifications, right? But if you don't want, then you don't need to. All right. And of course, sharing is caring. So if you know of anybody who might want to join us for Stash-tember, yes, please share. And if you are new to the channel, this is your first time, and so far you are more, you're kind of interested or you like what you've seen thus far, and thus we have a very supportive community, I hope that you would consider subscribing as well. Thank you, my friends. These are very easy cards to do, nothing to it. But I'm so happy and glad that, in the end, we just want to use our stash. Every card doesn't have to be a work of art, right? So as long as it's, wow, from the beginning, it looked like, but in the end, once you put it all together, not so bad, right? And again, when I see others' works, what Wims has done, she has shared it on our Discord. It really is amazing. So maybe tomorrow, if we are, end up a little bit early, again, I will look for that one that I need to color with chameleon. We'll do that again tomorrow. All right. So what is for tomorrow, by the way? Okay. So let me just check what is for tomorrow. For tomorrow is this one. Okay, where is that? That one. So for tomorrow is day 19. It's stamp only card. No dice. Ah, okay. So actually I have not been using any die. I normally just fussy cut, right? So for tomorrow, guys, so if you are fond of using dice, so we'll challenge you a little bit. So tomorrow is just simply stamps. So it didn't say whether it's a word stamp. Again, any stamp that you have not used. Okay, challenge yourself a little bit and smash those stash that you have still yet unused. All right. Thank you again, Vicky. Thank you, Jaden. You guys are super awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And see you again tomorrow for another episode of Stash-tember. And this is fun because it's easy. Any stamp you have not used. All right. So with that, see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. God bless you all. Oh, I hear another notification on Discord, but we'll show that to you tomorrow. Bye, friends.